Today I just got back from the gym. How does it feel to be just tired when you come back from the gym? I tried to do like this body combat class at 24 Hour Fitness today. I don't know how, you know how it feels? My legs are sore, my butt is sore. I'm like walking around like a wounded giraffe. And then I took a trip to Kinko's and I got the papers and I found out that I'll be paying a total of $2,290 to move into the apartment. And the only thing I got to do now is I want to find out, is it cashier's check or whatever. That's the only thing. I'll get everything taken care of, and I'll just go find out what I need to do. Today I was just having an old man moment. Like, look at this phone. I was just thinking, when I was younger, when I lived with my grandparents, we had like the line for the phone went into the wall. And I remember sometimes when the phone line would mess up, the phone would cut out, or you wouldn't be able to hear the person, or you just get the dial tone. And now I just I remember we used to like go into the stores and like find out what kind of dialing section, before we used to have like my grandmother had one of those black circular phones connected to the wall, and you had like the dialer numbers, the rotor numbers, like kind of like you can hypnotize yourself turning the rotor. And I remember my mom was the first one in the family to get the push button one. So we had a push button phone in the kitchen. It was like, we thought we were like big shots, man. We'd pick up the phone, punch the buttons, call up Miss Diggs, talk to Hog, see what was going on, beg them to put Rex and Butterball on the phone so we can talk to the dogs. And we have one phone in my parents' room. So there was one phone in the kitchen and one phone in my parents' room. And they were both touch tones. And I also remembered when the phones would mess up, how you would just like, you'd have to like take the phone. I remember for us, you were able to pick up the phone in the kitchen. If you want to play a prank on someone and let them think the phone's not working, you can lift up the phone in the kitchen because the phone was directly connected to the wall. So if you created some space between the wall and the phone, you wouldn't get that proper dial tone connection, and the phone wouldn't work. And now I'm just thinking, and I also remembered when I was back in 2001, when the internet first came along, I spent about $3,000 for a web designer to design a web page for me. And I remember back then that was like the big thing. Like, that was back then when they had a WordPress. There were some programs that we were doing, because I remember in college I had to do something. When I got my MBA, I was doing some type of programming in class. And I remember how difficult it was. I was doing a micro access based website backed up to a website like an Internet Explorer, where you could start doing actual lead capturing, like person would enter their name, their phone number, and you'd use that to contact them. And I remember how when I was in college, because I just came back from Kinko's, and Kinko's is charging like about 39 cents per minute for you to use the computer. And I remember how we used to go down to the computer labs in college, and that was like such a big thing. And the Apples came along, like, who's going to get down on the computer first to do the work on the different computers? And now you have like the laptops, which are probably more powerful than the computers I had in college. And that just shows you how much technology has advanced. And I also remembered when I was working just a few years ago, we had an event in Las Vegas for Kevin Hogan. And I remember how big the cameras were, what people were carrying around. They were like big cameras, the ones you put on your shoulder. I don't know if you ever did that. And they were carrying the cameras around and filming them. And we used to see we were able to see those. And now I remember we went to one not too long ago, and the camera was almost the size of this phone, about 6 inches by 8 inches on the tripod. And they were doing some actual filming with the iPhone or with the Galaxy. And it just like shows you how far technology is coming on. I mean, there was no way I would ever think, okay, I'd be holding a handheld phone for $100, contacting people, calling them, be able to like, basically I'm transmitting to the world for basically zero, because the company figured out a way to make money by having you pay for the phone, and then you pay for the service, but then they give you the data for free. So that's their kick they have for you. So I just think that's so funny, because I just think back when I was younger that we were on like the circular phones and calling people up, hey Miss Diggs, what's going on? Hi Hog, what's going on? And do you know what a payphone is? Have you guys ever seen a payphone? I remember a payphone was such a big thing, where you have like, you have like a couple of coins in your pocket. I remember I called my mom up. I pretended to run away from home one time, and I was walking down Greenleaf Avenue. I think I walked about 2 miles and got on the phone and called Hog up. Please, Hog, come pick me up, man. I don't know where I am and I'm too tired. I remember in college a phone was a big deal. When you were like, go to the bar. That's when back in the 90s, don't drink and drive and all that stuff. So you'd make sure you had a couple of coins in your thing, where you would go to the phone and call someone up and have them come pick it up. And the computer, the computer, I remember, and my mom used to have this massive computer. It was it was a computer from Yamaha. It had a monitor. You had like the big drive. The drive that's about 6 feet tall, 6 feet. It's about 3 or 4 feet tall, whatever it is. Like those stands, those towers they used to be. The keyboard and the monitor. And we had what you call a floppy disk. That you were the bomb. I remember even college, before the little CD plastic things came on. Those discs were like the bomb, and you just hate it. Like when you're in college, like you hate it when that disc got messed up, because then you'd have to do your project all over again. Have you guys ever did that? You know how it is. You're like ready to jam, and then you put your disc in, and you get like system error or something error. And that's when ITs are just coming along, so you thought maybe you can go to the IT person. Can you help me, man? I don't want to type this paper up again. Please help me. You guys know the pain of having to type that up again. Oh, I just remembered that. And I remember those discs that you used to use for Macs, how you put those in, and you have to be careful because it'd be like plastic on the front and on the back. You'd have like a 2-inch by 2-inch disc on the back. That'd be like a little metal thing, and that's how you would like access the memory. You'd like kind of plug into it and access the memory. I was just thinking about those things as I sat in Kinko's, because I remember back when I was in college, Kinko's, those computers came out, man, you couldn't find space. And I remember when you had a project or something late, where are you going, man? I'm going to Kinko's. I'm going to be there all night. They're going to charge me $10 to $20 to be on their computer, but I got to get my paper done. The reason I'm telling you this is like, things have just changed. Even my car, look at the cars. And like, you hear cars parked next to you, especially the ones that are trying to get the energy, the mileage per hour thing up. They'll stop. Actually, the trick is the car company cuts off the car for a few minutes to save whatever gas, and then starts the car up when you move. That's a unique solution, and that's what you got to do as a business owner, and that's what you got to do as a person. And today I'm just having like my old man moment. I'm just trying to think whatever things have changed. Airports. I remember airports. It was the bomb. You were like, I remember in airports you'd have to go stand in line to get to the person to put you on the plane, whatever they do when they take the tickets. And I was just a few weeks ago, all the kiosks, you try to do the kiosk thing, there's like 30 kiosks for you to self-check yourself in, and then you have the counter people across the way just hanging out instead of saying, hey, I better help this person out, because sooner or later these things are going to replace me, and I won't have any way to make a living because I got lazy. So I was thinking about that. So today is like we're starting like a series on it. Today is about move out day 19, but I'm having my old man moments. I'm trying to think. Here's one, I hate to go there, porn. I remember back in the old days, my dad had this big box full of porn books. Playboy, Hustler, all kind of stuff. He had a few foreign topics because he was in the Marines. So I guess when he was overseas with the guys, when he was an enlisted guy, or he collected all these books. And I remember when I was younger, like I got hooked on them so little. I remember I used to go to this liquor store and steal porn magazines, man. I would go in there, roll up this damn magazine, put it in my pants and walk out the store. Those guys probably thought I was crazy. Say, look at this motherfucking brother, man. Come on, bro, what you doing? This is when I was in high school. See, this is what happens when your parents send you to an all-guy high school. I didn't ask to go to an all-boy high school. Only person, I think there was like 1 or 2 nuns who really looked super attractive. After that, it was a bunch of guys. And I'll talk to you about Sister Ingrid later. Even to this day, she's probably the most beautiful woman I know, and she was a nun. But what can you do? And let's see, what else am I? Oh yeah, back to the porn magazine. I remember I'd take those magazines, and then my grandmother caught me one time, and I got in all kind of trouble, man. So I said, if I ever steal a magazine again, what I'm gonna do is take it. I used to steal it, bury it, and then the dumb dog ended up uncovering the magazine. I got caught again. I'm like, what are you doing, boy? You want to read? Can you read? They probably can read. So I remember that was my best one. I think after the dog dug up the porn mag, I said, I gotta stop stealing. That's it, before I get in trouble. But now porn is like, you get X-Hamster. It's everywhere for free. I mean, I remember I used to like go down to Hollywood and buy. I spent like $10 and $20 on these foreign magazines. Now it's all for free. I mean, unless you know how things change. So just when you think your idea is not going to work out, what I've learned, like when you think something's not going to work out, you got to just try it 1, 2, 3 times. I mean, we wouldn't have electricity if it weren't for Bell, and it just shows you how things start off small. Just like Carly B and Nicki Minaj when they started singing. Sometimes you got to start off small, like me with these videos. I'm going to keep publishing. I'm going to keep publishing till I hit something, or very least, I die, they'll find these videos and say, what was he talking about? What is a phone CD? What is a phone that you put in your hand and record people? We don't do that anymore. All we do is have like this, probably something like 1 inch by 1 inch. You toss it up and you have like your own instant studio. So what I learned is like you have to just keep pushing yourself. You never give up, because you never know when your idea is going to be accepted, or you don't ever know when you're going to have a student loan that's above $94,000 that you get to below $38,000 as of August 29th. Only reason I got there was just like how we got the phone from how the phone transitioned from my grandmother's house with the rotary dial to my mom's house with the push button to this with my phone right now, using a phone to make a video. What's next?